for Parma's injured club captain Menotti, and Fernando Couto, the Portuguese international, keeps his place ahead of Apolloni. Well, no team coach in the world could find a perfect replacement for Marco van Basten, but Milan's Fabio Capello has come up with a more than adequate one in George Weah. The Liberian has been simply devastating so far this season, and today, with Savicevic unavailable, he's hoping to flourish in tandem with Baggio, whose first campaign for Milan has again been interrupted by injury. Iranio and Boban are the choices to play wide in midfield, operating outside of Albertini and the French star Desailly. Simone, a little surprisingly perhaps, has been left on the bench. The Ennio Tardini Stadium might not offer the opulence of the more palatial San Siro, but my word, there's an electrifying atmosphere this afternoon. And as we check on the top of the table, there's not so much as a single goal, let alone a point, dividing the two teams heading Italy's top flight. Fiorentina in third place, 2 points behind the top two, and they've got some match on today. They're away to Juventus in Turin. Lazio also in contention at this stage, along with Napoli and Udinese. And here's the man in charge this afternoon, Robert Anthony Boggi. It all adds up to an enthralling prospect, with so many outstanding players on view here. Roberto Baggio, Stoichkov, Weah, Zola, Maldini, Dino Baggio, such an array of talent to drool over this afternoon. But I think the first question for Joe Jordan alongside me is the choice of goalkeeper. That's a real surprise. Buffon, just 17 years old, he's not 18 until January. Preferred in goal to Nista, because Luca Bucci is out injured. Now, what about that, Joe?
Well, what a debut for a young lad. He's playing against one of the greatest teams in the world. The game's at home, so that's one bonus for him. The crowd will be right behind him, but he couldn't really get a harder baptism than he's going to get today. Not only have we got a Milan at full strength, but we have a partnership in Weah and also Baggio, which are going to really test the young lad today.
Parma defending the goal to our right, and it is a straight choice. There's no question of Nista carrying any kind of injury. Nevio Scala saying beforehand, I simply feel that he's the man for the job today. This is Musi taking the throw then for Parma. Of course, they've lost the services now of Thomas Brolin, transferred to Leeds United. So Asprilla is back in the frame, and he's on the bench today, the Colombian who's been out of favour. This is Stoichkov now, Zola ahead of him. Here is Zola, Stoichkov was tumbled. In goes Dino Baggio. The whole posse of Milan defenders converging on the player who was fouled than Dino Baggio. So it's a free kick to Parma in a precarious situation. Albertini there, the man who collided with Dino Baggio. Now, is this going to be a chance for Zola, who's got 3 goals in the last 2 Serie A games since being dropped, somewhat controversially, against Roma, the last game we featured of Parma. That's Maldini, who's got a minor knock. I think he'll run that off okay. Fernando Couto is there as well, the man with the long hair. But it was whipped in by Stoichkov. This is Couto. He's kept his place in the team, although Apolloni is fit again, the Italian international. Apolloni among the substitutes this afternoon. Up goes Dino Baggio, up goes the flag, as Kripra went marauding through. But a positive start, Joe, by Parma.
Yeah, they are obviously we know they're the home team, but Milan are one of the teams that have done exceptionally well here over the recent years. Parma are very, very strong at home. Really, it's only their away form has prevented them from really winning a championship in the last number of years. But Milan have come here, and I expect them to come in a positive fashion, as the way that Parma have started.
Yes, Milan have won 3 out of 5 against Parma here in Serie A, since Parma were promoted back in 1990. Well, that for the first time, remember, in their history. So they really have made enormous strides over the past few campaigns.
Well, one of the things I'll be looking at closely, as I'm sure a lot of your viewers will be the 2 partnerships of the respective teams. You know, we have fantastic players on display up front today, you know, Way and Baggio, and we've got Zola there with Stoichkov. So it'll be really interesting to see how these players, how these partnerships work, because I think, you know, we have Way and Baggio who haven't played too many times together. They are quality players, it's just whether that chemistry is right between both of them.
Pass by Brambilla to Musi. And he's keeping Di Chiara out of the Parma team, with Benariva on the other flank at the moment. Musi, of course, a former Milan player. This is his surging run, curtailed by Desai with the challenge. The Frenchman so strong in the tackle, but he sent Musi crashing to the ground there. Musi, who was back in the Italian team for one of the games last week. They had 2 matches, of course, in succession. And as usual, Arrigo Sacchi shuffled his pack. So Musi had an outing. Maldini, the Italian captain. Well, there's young Buffon. What a day for him to come into the Parma team for the first time. Nista played last week in place of Boggi and kept a clean sheet too, so it's somewhat surprising that Buffon has got the vote today. He's the son of Lorenzo Buffon. Older viewers may recall, an international from back in the 50s and 60s, and indeed a league title winner with Inter and Milan. Stoichkov endeavouring to collect the ball. And supply here the service for the likes of Fernando Couto, who's always a danger on the set pieces. He's come up. And it's just too long for Dino Baggio. Another man who weighs in with his quota of goals. Rossi with just the 1 clean sheet so far this season, but he has been in excellent form and hopes to win recognition in the Italian national squad before the European Championship finals, which of course Italy have qualified. Fernando Couto, he'll be in the Portuguese party.
I think in the past, one of the reasons Milan have been successful here has been their approach and their philosophy to the game. They've always come here in a positive fashion, as they've gone everywhere in recent times.
Zola now. Stoichkov. It was a bit too delicate then from the Bulgarian star. Good tackle by Brambilla. Poyot, says the referee. This is Boban. Maldini being hustled by Baggio, and he's released Boban. Boban, the captain of Croatia, another of the qualifiers for Euro '96, but he didn't feature in their game in the week. Roberto Baggio, great little touch from him. Now Boban. Baggio in the middle. And Ennio. And a confident claim by young Buffon. Didn't look too troubled by that, Joe.
Oh, I think he'll be pleased with that. It was a nice, comfortable catch, but I mean, it was a lovely ball put in there by Boban. He used great skills. Just got himself a yard and put the ball in, but the goalkeeper, he'll feel a lot more relaxed after having a touch of the ball.
Boban, harassed by Musi. Boban, who's not an automatic choice for Milan these days, such as the depth of talent in the squad. And normally if Savicevic is available, then Boban doesn't figure. This man always does. Maldini. On by Dino Baggio to Zola. Albertini. Away then by Cannavaro. Baresi. Here's Benarivo. Caught though by the tackle from Ennio. It's fairly frantic at the moment. Crippa. Zola ahead of him, and Stoichkov here out wide. Desai back defending.
And you certainly can sense the tension in the game, and the competitive edge has already been shown. There's been a couple of awkward challenges which have resulted in injuries. Nothing malicious, but it's a big game for both clubs.
Stoichkov taking the throw for Parma. Brambilla. He's coming to the side today with Peen out injured. Away by Punducci. Where outmaneuver, that's Sensini. And just too long with Stoichkov lurking up front then for Parma. He has been playing wide out on the left in more of a midfield role, but they've left out Melli today, playing just the two up front. And Inzaghi, another man who's been featuring lately. They're both on the bench though, so there are options open to Nevio Scala, should he want to change things later on.
Well, the names that you've mentioned there, Pierre, I think is one reason why Parma, and as a club and as a supporter of Parma, those people will be thinking that they really should be making a challenge for the championship this year. They have the strength and depth that maybe in previous seasons has been a reason why they haven't really went all the way. I mean, up until Christmas last year, they had done exceptionally well.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier on, there's a spree or two, of course, among the substitutes. He hasn't come on or started any game so far this season, having been very much out of favour, but maybe getting another chance now. Meantime, it's a free kick to Parma, which Dino Baggio will take. Oh no, he's going to leave it for Fernando Couto. It's an excellent pass too. He's found Benarivo. Oh, Stoichkov was in the middle and wanted a better service than that. An agonising look from the Bulgarian towards the man who supplied the cross, Benarivo. The long ball from Panucci, dealt with by Fernando Couto. Here's Weah. Brambilla working very hard though. Foul on him. And he showed his strength then in holding off George Weah, no less. Kripa with the free kick. Ennio. Fabio Capello offering plenty of advice from the sidelines. The man who inspired Milan to those many successes, of course, but last season was the worst under his direction. It looks as if this one is going to be a lot more profitable for them. Foul on Ennio, who's been preferred to Donadoni in the starting lineup. Panucci with the free kick then for Milan. Weah in the middle. Can't get on the end of that one though. Baresi with the header. Boban. Tardini away to his left. Again, good hustling by Parma. Desai. Wide to Maldini. Threading it on. No foul. Away comes Sensini. Dino Baggio. Roberto Baggio. Well, he felt he should have had a free kick. Referee Boggi did not concur. Just hearing that Juventus have taken the lead at home to Fiorentina, and it's that man Del Piero. What a season he's having. No goals here, just over 10 minutes gone. The match between the top two in Serie A. Identical records in every way. Sensini. Little mistake then by Baresi, but he won't be punished. Costa Curta is there to cover for him. Away then by Sebastiano Rossi. Brambilla, who started very promisingly. An exquisite pass set to by Zola to release Benarivo. Kripa, Benarivo again. Panucci with the intervention. Weah. He's got good skill for a big man. And his finishing, of course, has been lethal this season, George Weah. 6 goals in all competitions, including 4 in Serie A. Deft touch from Baggio. Weah. Again, such fine close control. And the little chip to Ennio. Out comes Buffon. Bravely out too. But now he's got to scurry back. Well, such cohesive football then from Milan. It almost produced a goal too. But all credit to Buffon for his alertness in that Parma goal. Ennio. Wide to Boban. Here's Baggio. clashing with Cannavaro. I suppose he's become used to that kind of treatment down the years, but he was involved in the build-up to the goal, the chance rather. Eradio denied by Buffon.
Well, Buffon, you would imagine a young keeper like him, inexperienced. You think Milan would have tried to get a bit of pressure put on him, but I think Parma, the defence, has handled it well. What we've had handled from Buffon is one cross, and that save was a good save. I mean, he hasn't anticipated. He's come out, he's closed his angle, and he's prevented what could have really resulted in a goal. But I would like to see Milan, obviously from a point of view of being an ex-Milan player, trying to get some pressure on the goalkeeper to see how the young boy can handle it.
Well, he's come up through the youth ranks as Gianluigibuffon, but the number 3 goalkeeper behind this turn, of course, Boggi. And the veteran Gali has departed from the club. That's Baggio with the free kick.
That really is a disappointing free kick. You know, we're talking about getting a little bit of pressure on the goalkeeper. That was a great opportunity there, just to put the ball in there, and you've got people like George Weah, you've got Desire, who can go in, make their presence felt, and try and get something from it. But they've let that opportunity go.
Panucci, the offender. Benarivo, very much the aggrieved party. Brambilla. Now Musi. The anticipation of Maldini, retrieving possession then for Milan, but not for long. Here's Sensini. Prefers to play in midfield, but he has settled in well in the sweeper role and has been playing in superb fashion.
I'd just like to come in there, Pierre, on that point there. Albertini there just shows the competitive edge of Milan. That's the way they play the game, pressing, closing down, and he's made a couple of shuttle runs there to win possession of the ball.
Costa Curta with Franco Baresi. Away then by Sensini to Musi. Maldini for Milan. Boban. We're setting off on a run. That's a good interception though by Cannavaro, one of the outstanding young defenders in the Italian game. Very much a key man for the under-21s at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to move up a gear, up to a higher stage in due course. Benarivo again threatening down this left side, away from Panucci. Stoichkov. Too many defenders for him in the end, and that surely was a foul by the Bulgarian. Certainly favours his left foot. It wouldn't fall for him on that one as he tried to wriggle through.
Well, that was good football, and it was instrumental in I mean, Benarivo going down there in a typical run. He's laid on the chance for Stoichkov. A little bit unfortunate, got stuck between his legs, but a great ball there by Kripa there.
Brambilla to Kripa. Roberto Baggio with the tackle. Weah, Baggio ahead of him. That's good work by Benarivo. He's having a storming game so far. Brambilla. No question that he started well. Getting his chance in the lineup this afternoon. There's Zola. Brambilla, another under-21 international. Where? Cannavaro was snapping away at his heels then. Here's Panucci. Desai with Albertini. Now Baresi swept on to Maldini. Just overhit though in search of Roberto Baggio, but here's Maldini surging away down that left side. It's off Fernando Couto and a corner to Milan.
I think Paolo Maldini will be disappointed there with his attempt to get it across, but I think once he'd made the burst through and he was getting to the dead ball, then he had a quick look up to see whose forwards were in the box, and there wasn't really there a target for him to hit.
Milan playing in positive fashion. They've got 33 goals in 15 competitive games so far this season. Baggio hasn't featured in a lot of them because of injury. He's missed 9 in all. Of course, he had so many injury problems for Juventus last season. Here's Baggio then with the corner. Maldini had come up for it. Buffon couldn't get there really. He felt he was impeded. I think it's just a goal kick the referee has given.
Well, he's tried to get out here, and he's been restricted from that attempt to come for the ball. And I think if Milan get any more corners, I think they'll be trying to use the same tactic.
Off the head of Costa Curta, then Ennio, then goes Cannavaro. Maldini for Milan. Albertini always plays so smoothly in midfield. That's always the cue for someone to make a mistake. He's given it away. On by Benarivo. Zola skipping away from the challenge. Stoichkov now. Bit ambitious. It struck Baresi. Kripa. And a foul by Ennio. Zola will take the free kick. He'll look for the aerial ability of Fernando Couto in there. Called over by Zola, just tipped away by Rossi. Rossi did well then under some pressure too. Just managed to scoop it over the bar. We've seen Zola, of course, score from that kind of position in the past, so often too. Those 3 goals he scored in the last 2 Serie A games have all come from free kicks. Stoichkov with a corner. Fernando Couto couldn't get a direct header on it though. Almost at the halfway point in the first half, and it's Costa Curta to Panucci. Ennio. Oh, slipped by Fernando Couto. Rather lucky to get away with that. Panucci, that's another foul by him. I would think he's living a little dangerously. Another shove on Kripa. And Stoichkov caught offside through the middle. Stoichkov, who scored for Bulgaria in the week in their game against Germany, but ended up on the losing side. Baresi with Costa Curta. Desai in strongly. This is Ware. Endeavouring to link up with Ennio. And it's Sensini who breaks it up. Maldini now. Boban has drifted out wide. Cannavaro. The Milan have been given the free kick. Referee Boggi spotted an offence there. Must have been, I thought the challenge was an innocuous one, but he didn't see it that way.
No, I think he was sandwiched a little bit there, especially by Dino Baggio. The referee had a good view of it. He was only about 2 or 3 yards from it. I think they tried to prevent him from getting the ball.
Pippa and Sensini still disputing the decision with the referee, but he won't change his mind. Roberto Baggio maybe will try his luck from here. Such a fascinating contrast and contest between him and Zola today. Zola, who before Baggio's injury was keeping Baggio out of the Italian team. Here's Baggio now. Wants that wall further back, so does the referee. Now it's Baggio. Fernando Couto with something of a miscue.
I think that'll be a personal little contest, you say, Peter, between Zola and Baggio, solely on the free kicks issue as well. I mean, we know how dangerous they are and how successful they'll be today will be important, I think, to the result of the match.
It's a goal kick, despite the protests of George Ware. Sensini. Nevio Scala, the coach of Parma, saying beforehand it really is imperative now that Parma do continue to challenge for the Scudetto. So much more expected of them now than when they first came up into the top flight 5 years ago. Do seem to have lacked conviction in the past, but they're hoping now this is going to be their season. Here's Maldini. Baggio. Pumped on then by Albertini to Desai. So strong in midfield, Milan, especially with those two in the central roles. Ennio trying to outsmart Sensini. Ennio. Hounded by Crippa, it's Panucci here. Costa Curta having to backpedal. And here now the urbane figure of Franco Baresi. On for Maldini. That'll be a free kick to Milan. Maldini. Scored a wonderful goal for the Italians last week, Maldini. Fairly rare goal for him. This is Baggio, who scored plenty in his time, and it spins away, I think, off Cannavaro there, rather than George Weah.
That was terrific football there from Milan there, which ended up, I think it was a corner kick, but gave George Weah an opportunity, maybe his first opportunity to get into the box. But great football.
So maybe here now then, another examination for young Buffon in the Parma goal. Boban trying to block his view. That came off Sensini. Crippa, who works so diligently down this left side for Parma. It's a foul by Ennio. Yeah, it's just a throw. Stoichkov. Niggling tackle by Costa Curta. A lot of tension in this game this afternoon. Boggi doing his best to keep control. Certainly the midfield area is being somewhat swamped. Best attacking play in general, I think, has come from Milan. But Parma have had their moments too. Well, there's Stoichkov way offside. Those Milan defenders pushing right forward. But the referee sensibly allowing Milan to go on with Rossi in possession. Now Baresi. Maldini. Little flicked header by Roberto Baggio to release George Weah. Ennio. Sensini the sweeper. To Benarivo. The home crowd just showing a bit of impatience then. Dino Baggio on by Desai. And the efforts of Dino Baggio deserve better reward then. Sensini back off Boban. Such an experienced player, Sensini. The man, of course, who gave away the penalty, remember, for Argentina against West Germany in the 1990 World Cup final. Boban. Storming run ahead of him from Maldini. It's opened up a bit of space too. Boban's cross flicked away by Cannavaro. Baresi. Now Albertini. Boban.
The way the game is at the moment, both teams are really squeezing and restricting the area of the field for the front players they play in, which really, the only result that I can see that coming out of that is getting the ball wide. I mean, Boban has shown in 1 or 2 occasions where he has got the beating of the full-back and he has got crosses in. And Benarivo in the part of Parma, he's been able to do that. But the way the things are at the moment in the middle of the park, it's too tight, there's too many players, it's too congested.
The initiative for the moment, though, seems to be with Milan, the away side. Was that a foul then? Yes, by Albertini. He claimed it was a dive, but he certainly made contact with Zola. A reprimand from referee Boggi. Yes, the arm snaking out then from Albertini. Zola, who's Parma's captain this afternoon. Menotti is still out of the team. They've certainly missed him at the back. Fernando Couto. A wasted free kick, though. They've got to show more belief in themselves, Parma. And we did wonder when we saw that the lineup, Joe, well, they might have played Meli or Inzaghi up front as an extra man, and Stoichkov, who's been playing so well out wide, would have had a different role. Yeah,
I think you could actually maybe see that later on in the game. I mean, Stoichkov has played out there and has enjoyed it. And Meli, as we know, he had a little bit of a spell at Milan, and if he does get the opportunity, he'll be determined to show what they're missing. But the Inzaghi, he's another player that has come in this season that they brought in, and he's been instrumental in some of the good results that they've had. So that they have, if you look at the bench for both teams, there are players that can come on and change the game.
Roberto Baggio with the free kick. Desai and Weah are both in there, and the header over the top from Boban. Curled over invitingly by Baggio. Boban is first to it. But it's headed away over the bar to the relief of young Buffon.
I would say as far as possession is concerned, Milan are slightly in front, but for that possession, that advantage of possession, I've not really tested the young Buffon. He's had a couple of crosses to deal with, but there's been no direct shots for him to handle to see how he is on the day. I mean, it is a big day for him and really should be tested.
And he certainly looks confident enough so far. Off the head of Musi for a throw then to Milan. Just 1 league defeat so far, the same as Parma. And there are 15 minutes of the first half to go. Milan seeking their 5th title in, 9 years? Parma hoping for their very first. This is Panucci. Fernando Couto. Benarivo. He's got Kripa ahead of him. And this is Stoichkov out wide. Across easily away though by Baresi. No real challenge on him. Need to get more players up in support, Parma. Again, you wonder if they've gone into the match, Joe, with too much fear of Milan.
Well, I think it's something that's been pointed at them before. Not necessarily at home, but away from home. I think they've been very disappointed in their league campaigns in previous seasons.
This could be a chance for them. Dino Baggio almost got through then. Eventually cleared by Baresi. Off goes Boban. Now, how quickly can Milan spring forward? Albertini has got Ennio making a great run down the right. George Weah here. Still Weah. Weah shot. Well, it was straight at Buffon. And he dealt with it very competently. But certainly there was a break on just now for Parma when Dino Baggio worked an opening. But the danger was quickly snuffed out by those very alert Milan defenders.
Yeah, I think when you look at Parma and you look at the players that they've got, they shouldn't be in an inferiority complex with anyone, really. They have got quality players, they have world-class players. It's just to win that first championship is such a big hurdle. They have won honours and cups and whatnot, but to show that consistency, what is needed away from home, is something that they've got to overcome.
Down goes Kripa. And he can't take it from there. Such a diligent performer, Kripa. Back in the Italian team last week. Sorry, Joe,
I was just going to say, I think the referee has been very lenient on Panucci. I think you know, he's been niggling away there, and I think he does deserve a booking.
Well, that's yet another offence by Panucci. I reckon that's at least 4 from him. Surely that's worth a yellow card. Yes, this time it will be a booking for Panucci. Hacking away at Kripa.
Well, this is a silly book, and he's just been involved in an incident seconds before. The ball's been rolled up. There is no way he can win it. The player is protecting the ball, and that must be the 5th or 6th foul that he's committed in that area. And the referee has, I think, has been very lenient with him and very patient, and he gets what he deserves.
So the first caution of the afternoon issued to Christian Panucci, the young Milan defender. Zola will take this free kick. Fernando Couto is the man running around there, trying to find some room in the box. That'll be Rossi's, though. No problem there for the giant goalkeeper. Parma have won 5 of their last 6 now in Serie A. The only points they dropped were in that disappointing game against Roma. But obviously it's a different ball game against Milan this afternoon. They're finding them extremely hard to break down. And you would feel if there is a goal coming, it may well come from Milan rather than the home team. Cannavaro. Parma defending in numbers, but you feel they need to get a few more forward. Foul by Desai on Zola, who's full of tricks, of course. No player likes to be nutmegged, Joe.
No, I think he would have taken that one personally. Desai, he's a player, players in midfield, as we know here for Milan, but when you consider that he played centre-back for his country, it shows you what a fantastic player he is.
Brambilla, just overhitting his pass, though.
Well, he's got so much on offer. He's a very strong player, powerful, and he's got great feet. You know, he can pass the ball, he can manipulate the ball, and he's got great power, great pace.
Panucci. Baggio had shot for him. Good skill too from Baggio then. Albertini to Costa Curta, now Baresi. Milan building from the back. Boban. Maldini, who's found some room down that left side. Now can he get his cross in here? No, it was straight at Sensini. Not enough quality on the final ball, and that applies to both teams really so far. Hasn't really got off the ground, the match.
I think there's been too many stoppages, too many, I wouldn't say petty free kicks, but I think the match means that much to both sets of players, that the competitive edge is there, they're closing people down, they're preventing them from actually getting their head up and looking round and making the pass.
It's a foul on Stoichkov. There's Asprilla on the bench as we look there to our right. Wondering if his opportunity will come at last. Not for the moment. Stoichkov will fancy this one. Maybe Zola too. But my money is on the left foot of Stoichkov here.
Well, that's certainly within his range. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this game today is decided, not necessarily in this free kick, but free kicks that are going to be taken by these quality players.
He's gone a while without a goal now, Stoichkov. Got 4 in the first 5 in Serie A, and he's curled this one over the bar. He never really looked like troubling Sebastiano Rossi.
I'd be disappointed with that. It wasn't even close. He is a player that has got an incredible reputation in world football for finishing from free kicks, but he never even threatened the goalkeeper with that one.
Paolo Maldini. Boban with Desai. This is Kripa. Time for Panucci. Good hustling though by Zola, and he was then held off. Well, Panucci has been booked. Now Zola saying There was nothing too serious there, and I think the referee will go along with that.
Well, that's a nice gesture by Zola, because if they could have reacted in a way maybe it was done years ago, it could have resulted in something worse for Panucci. But he's a good professional there, Zola. He could have got the boy in a lot of trouble.
It was two competitive players going for the same ball, and Panucci certainly caught him in the face. There's no two ways about that. But the referee, quite rightly, I think, in our view, has been lenient there. Free kick to Parma, taken by Fernando Couto. This is Cannavaro, who has the task of keeping George Weah subdued, along with Roberto Baggio, and so far he and his fellow defenders have more or less been up to the task. Baggio trying to whip it through, his Boban now. Maldini.
Yeah, I think that the Parma defenders have done it very, very well, because I think George Weah in the Milan team this year is the main reason why they are challenging for the championship, where this time last year they were struggling a little bit. I think he has taken over the position of Van Basten. I'm not saying that he is another Marco Van Basten, but he is a player in the same mould. He has got the pace, he's the one that's scoring vital goals for them, and he leads the line.
He's been making goals too.
Yeah, I think he surprised people, Peter, with his technique. We all know that he's a strong player. He's fast, a lot of pace, but I think people have been very, very surprised with his technique, his good footwork.
There he is now, headed on, but he can't find Baggio. Stoichkov. Kripa making the run, but Panucci is more fleet of foot. Certainly the home crowd showing their disappointment at the lack of activity in either penalty box, particularly in Milan's. There's Albertini for Boban. Maldini. Now Baggio. A wayward pass, though, from the former European Footballer of the Year. 5 minutes of the first half to go. Both teams needing a little inspiration from somewhere. Maybe a change of personnel will do something in the second half. This is Maldini. Easily read, though, by Musi, but now Maldini again. And then Sensini in ahead of Boban. This is Zola. Stoichkov in pursuit, but Costa Curta is there. Strong and sturdy at the back, Costa Curta. Kripa. No, Baresi is there. Now off goes Weah. Still Weah. Forced out wide to Ennio. Baggio through the middle. Weah's run. Here's Baggio. No, the flag's up for offside. So again, they kept their shape at the back, Parma. Baggio rather upset, distressed with the linesman. Well, it was close. It was close. You're talking about inspirational players. Well, I think if we look through the team sheets, there are players on both sides who are inspirational. Here's one now, Benarivo. Teasing Baresi. Oh, his cross was too long. It's just on the day and the time we have left, what player of this bunch we're talking about, or the ones that are on the bench who are going to make their presence felt on both teams. Yeah, we're looking at one there in Stoichkov. In the past, on many occasions, he's been a very inspirational player. Dino Baggio as well, when he's played for Italy and previously for Juventus. There are players here, without doubt, who can turn a game. And at the moment, I think it's going to be down to that. The referee and the crowd wanting Rossi to get on with it. His goal hasn't been threatened too often in the first half. Sebastiano Rossi. This is Musi, and that's off the foot of Maldini. Parma, with his fantastic home record, they've won 30 of 34 competitive games in the Ennio Tardini Stadium. That's how strong the run is here. But it's a different proposition for them, facing a team with Milan's capabilities. more often than not, it's Milan who've been playing like the home side rather than Parma. It's Kripa now. He's got Stoichkov up with him, but again, there's no real coordination there. Now where? Good, strong challenge, and a fair one too from Cannavaro. Sensini. Zola. Did well to win it back again. 2 minutes of the first half remaining. Stoichkov has failed to keep it in play. Costa Quarta. Maldini. Boban was the option to him out wide on the left. Here's Baresi again. Maldini. In goes Brambilla. Desai, such a formidable opponent. He was back in his central defensive role for France in the week, Desai. That's where he normally plays for his country. Oh, it's a great touch then from Baggio, releasing Boban. Boban with the shot! Well, I would think the best moment of the first half, Joe.
Yeah, it was. I was just going to say how quiet a game Roberto Baggio was having, but there he linked up there, showed fantastic vision and laying that ball. A little back keeler there to Boban. In the previous occasions I've seen Milan play this season, most of the time the partnership up front has been Weah and Simone. And maybe it's going to just take a little bit of time for Roberto Baggio to you know, correct and have an understanding with Weah. But there, that was good football.
Fantastic awareness shown by Roberto Baggio. Not so Stoichkov, who's caught offside yet again.
Yeah, he's been very guilty of that this afternoon so far. What it does, it just kills the game for Parma. He's just not timing his runs at all.
Yeah, they've just got to read this offside trap. It sprung so effectively by Milan, organised, of course, by Franco Baresi. Albertini, very quiet first half by him. Hoisted forward again by Baresi. I don't think Baggio is going to win too much in the air, though. His stealth is on the ground. The 45 minutes are up. More tigerish defending by Parma. One last chance perhaps brewing here. Where then Baggio! Bundled over by Sensini. A moment then of high drama in the Parma penalty box.
Well, he's done well, Baggio, because he's went right to the death. He's followed it through. He's anticipated the ball coming in. I don't think he was getting the rebound. I don't think there was any way. I think there was a collision there, but I don't think it was a penalty kick.
Yeah, I think I'll go along with that. Sensini was the man who did collide with Baggio, no question of that. But I don't think it was malicious. That was clearly the referee's view. Here's Baggio now with the corner. Away by Dino Baggio. Albertini. Albertini again. To Baggio. Finucci trying to make his presence felt, then Ennio was a weak finish though. Very tame. And a lot of disappointed Milan players in that penalty box around him.
Well, if we get a view of this moment in there, I think you'll see 4 Milan players and the 5 Milan players in the box here. And Ennio will be, what a terrible effort. He'll be very disappointed. All he has to do is to hit the target. But there we see 5 Milan players. It shows you how positive they have tried to be. I don't think they've played it exceptionally well, but they have dominated the game.
So there we are. The half-time whistle has been blown by referee Boggi. A disappointing half in many ways. Milan had more of the chances. Parma certainly haven't created successfully. Certainly you would feel the onus is on Parma to attack a little more in the second half, but I do wonder if they haven't gone into this game thinking, well, it's one we mustn't lose. They do still seem, Joe Jordan, to lack this belief in themselves when it comes to the really big game, it comes to the crunch.
Well, certainly in this game, I think their approach in the first half has been very disappointing. They haven't really got men forward. The only time they get someone forward is like Stoichkov, and he keeps getting caught offside. But I think if they're going to make an impression in the championship, they've really got to take on Milan. They've got enough quality players in their team to have conviction and belief, but certainly on the first half performance they need to show a lot more.
The header by Maldini, and it'll be Roberto Musi with the throw then for Parma. Brambilla forward then by Sensini. But a poor clearance by him. But along with the likes of Cannavaro and Fernando Couto at the back, Parma have defended well. They haven't allowed Milan too many opportunities, although the initiative has been with the away side. Boban trying to thread it through to Ware, but Sensini was there.
I think if you look at Milan in the way that they've come into the game, okay, they maybe not have created the chances that you would imagine they would for the possession that they've had. I think once or twice, or maybe more, that their final ball has been a bit disappointing, but they have come into it. They've taken the game towards Parma at every opportunity, and I think if they continue that way, that quality cross will eventually come.
Stoichkov, bundled aside though by Costa Curta. This is Ennio, who had a really good chance for Milan in the first half. Now Ware, Baggio is up with him. Oh, a great pass too for Boban. Might have made more of that. Came to him somewhat awkwardly in the end, but good vision shown by Ware. No change of personnel, but there will be a change of ball here. Remember, Milan have Marco Simone among their substitutes today, a player who has been in exceptional form. And we were a little surprised not to see him in the starting lineup again. Purely a tactical decision, we gather, from Fabio Capello. Here's Albertini. That, I think we can safely say, was a miss kick from the Italian international. 17-year-old Gianluigibuffon, who's had a very confident start to his Serie A career. Such an important game for him to come into the team for the first time. There's Panucci, Albertini, now Desai. The pass though not strong enough. Cannavaro and Sensini. Tripped surely by Baggio. What about his influence on the game so far, Baggio, Joe?
Well, Roberto Baggio in the first 45 minutes, I thought he was very, very quiet. I didn't think he was involved much, but we've seen towards the end that he has that quality touch, that little bit of genius that can turn in one movement, create a chance. But to be honest, I think he's got to do it. He's got to impose himself a lot more than he did in the first 45 minutes. We did mention the fact that he hasn't played too many times with George Weah, so that understanding might not be there in complete for him. But I do, as a player that he is, expect more from him.
This is Musi. Zola stretching. But then Grippo making no progress. Played up by Ennio to Roberto Baggio and Albertini. The two teams rather cancelling each other out, certainly in the first half. A lot of the play in midfield. And we were certainly disappointed not to see Parma playing with another striker. They have Melli, Inzaghi and Asprilla, remember, on the bench. And Milan leaving out Simone. Here's Baggio. Now releasing Maldini. Oh, that's good covering. Well done, Dino Baggio. Hasn't really been at his best, Dino Baggio, since moving to Parma. Of course, at one stage he was linked with a possible move to Milan. That didn't come off. He said that would be the only transfer he would consider, but in the end changed his mind and moved to Parma. Benaribo. In goes Panucci, outsmarted by Grippo, but the referee says illegally. There's a lot of toil, a lot of industry, but not enough craft so far from these two top teams in Serie A, as the table shows, for the moment anyway. Panucci with the free kick. Here's Baggio. Weah leaving it for Baggio. He won't get through this time, though. Maldini. Now Boban. Three in the middle. Here's Maldini. It was his wrong foot, really, although, of course, he scored with his right for the Italian national team last week.
When that ball goes out to Boban there, he is one player that's caught my eye. I mean, when he has the opportunity to get the crosses and to set someone up, he's more or less did it all the time. He's got a great touch, he's got a great body swerve, he can use both feet, and he is a player, I think if they can get the ball to him, he can create that opportunity that is wanted in the Milan camp.
More staunch defending by Sensini. This is Benarivo to find Kripa. Another foul by Panucci, the man, remember, who was cautioned in the first half.
Yeah, he's treading very dangerous grounds. What we need is not another foul. What we need really is a goal from whatever team, just to change the way that the game is going. The pattern of the game has just stayed the same, and it's up to someone to give us a goal, and then I think we could get a different pace in the game.
Brambilla losing out though. There's Desai. Now Dino Baggio. The time for Costa Curta to clear. Where Cannavaro had a splendid first half. Where showing that he's prepared to battle for the ball. Desai clattered by Brambilla. Fernando Couto. This is Sensini. Off goes Musi. But Maldini is there. As ever, such accomplished defending by Maldini. Now Sensini. And then rolled out by Desai to set Milan in motion again. Panucci. Ennio. Tracked by Benarivo. It's too quick for him. Panucci, he's just kept that in, as he know it was out for the throw. And the necessary penetration still lacking from both teams, really. Cannavaro. This is Dino Baggio. Zola can't control it. Here's Baresi. Imperiously away to Maldini. Now Desai. Cannavaro again in very quickly on where Desai. Cannavaro will have to scuttle back now. This is Ennio. Through for Boban. Not on the same wavelength though as Baggio. Well, that's good control from Stoichkov. He was going nowhere. Just showing a little bit of petulance then, Stoichkov. He's so unpredictable. You don't quite know how he's going to react. 12 sendings off, remember, during his time with Barcelona. Here's Baggio. Baggio's cross, it goes where with Fernando Couto. Dangerous moment then survived by Parma. Sensini. Ennio with Albertini. Now Desai. Spread out to Boban. Maldini making another of those surges forward. Here's Roberto Baggio. Still the initiative is with Milan. Desai. Oh dear. Stoichkov. There's nobody up with him. Zola arriving, but it was too late there. And away comes Albertini for Milan. And his raking pass has picked out Roberto Baggio. Boban. Ran straight into Musi. And away comes Parma. Still plenty of urgency, but we'd like a little more finesse, please. Albertini. Can't get Ware away. Kripa to find Stoichkov. Now Musi. Zola making the run ahead of him. Stoichkov through the middle, but That particular route was blocked. Boban. And the ball won cleanly for Parma by Brambilla. And then a foul by Costa Curta on Stoichkov.
Well, it's a similar pattern, Peter, to the first half. Both formations, both patterns that the teams are trying to create are breaking down because the opposition keep intercepting, putting pressure on them, intercepting the ball, anticipating the ball, and there's no flow to the game at all from either side, except maybe Milan in small spells.
The two teams locked together on 20 points at the top of the table. Fiorentina third at the start of play with 18, but they are a goal down at half-time to Juventus. That goal from Del Piero. Juventus themselves down in 7th place, 6 points behind the top two. Albertini. Wide by Boban. Ennio to Maldini. Now George Weah. An ambitious cross, but with no real conviction from Weah. Now Brambilla, and goes Maldini. Zola, asking a lot though of Stoichkov, and very coolly played back by Costa Curta. Not too much ruffles him, and certainly very little ruffles this man, Franco Baresi. Who's been saying again this week he hasn't made up his mind up when he's going to retire, but may not be at the end of the season as most of us were thinking. But then really, Joe, why should he back up if he's playing so well?
Well, this is a stroll for him today. When you consider that the two players that are facing the Milan back four are Zola and Stoichkov, I mean, world-class players, there's something wrong because they've never really got the service, and this afternoon has been a very...
That's Musi's cross.
Very easy game for Franco Baresi, and as you said, why can't he continue? If this is the way that he's got organised round about him, I don't see any reason why not.
Dino Baggio to Zola. Good interception though by Desai. Off goes Weah. Desai is continuing his run. It's still Weah. Desai tumbled now. He'll have to go it alone, Weah. A really forceful run that he's bundled aside by Cannavaro. Cannavaro very unhappy at the reaction then, and he felt the histrionics of George Weah, and the referee didn't like it either. I don't think he's going to get booked, but
I think both players actually. I think both players in that incident there knew what they were doing. George Weah was going to try and get the best of him. I mean, he's ran the best part of 50 yards there, and at the end he's not even getting a shot at goal. So he has tried to con the referee a little bit.
Zola. Now linking with Stoichkov. Dino Baggio has made a run through the central channel. A little shirt tugging going on. Out comes Maldini. As resolute as ever, but overhitting his pass in search of George Weah. Baresi. Now Boban to Maldini. Cautiously on, Desai. Challenged by Brambilla, who's certainly shown a competitive edge in midfield. But no real end product from either team thus far. And we've now had an hour of this top-of-the-table match in the Ennio Tardini Stadium. Franco Baresi. Albertini. Boban, who's drifted in field for the moment. This is Panucci. Baggio, a little touch by him. It was a bit too tentative though. Now Setzini, looking to launch a Parma attack. Crippa. Milan again working so hard to deny him any space, any room to manoeuvre. But he has it back again now, Crippa. Stoichkov. Dino Baggio beaten in the air. Fernando Couto. In an altercation, they're off the ball. Maldini and Fernando Couto. On goes Zola. What a good tackle by Boban. Albertini. Boban. Baggio. Super little turn then by Baggio, trying to keep his feet as he's harried and hustled by Dino Baggio, and that'll be a caution for one of the Baggios. It's Dino, and he was certainly pulling the shirt then of his namesake Roberto. And for anyone who doesn't know, they're not related. So a yellow card for the Italian international Dino Baggio. And a chance here maybe for Milan. To be able to keep his balance at all then, Roberto Baggio.
Well, I think that's a typical example of the way that the game has gone. I think what is shown there is what's the attitude being of the players. They shall not pass. And there was no way that Roberto Baggio was going to be allowed to go through there and have a pop at goals.
Yes, niggly, I think is the word for it so far, as I just had whispered in my ear. That's Boban. Corner to Milan. They've posted Maldini forward. He'll be lurking around the near post. And there's also, of course, the height and the power in the air of Weah and Desai. And here's Baggio then taking the kick. Buffon back on his line. Desai, I think, tripped Sensini then. But the referee allowing play to go on with Costa Curta applying the back pass to Rossi, who hasn't had a great deal to do. Just to remind you, Parma are the home team. They're not really playing like it.
Certainly difficult to assess Parma being a home team if you consider how many shots that Rossi's had to save. Not very many at all, not even close to it. And you consider Zola up there, and he's been very, very quiet.
Here's Zola now. Tormenting Costa Curta. But what a well-timed tackle by the Italian defender. He's had more caps under Arrigo Sacchi than any other Italian. Costa Curta has been very consistent. Just one spell last season when he rather lost his way, and was even dropped by Milan. But back to something like his best this season, and certainly very much a first choice for club and country. Benarivo. Now Melli is preparing to come on, so a change of tactic, a change of formation from Nevio Scala. And maybe a gamble that he might have taken a little earlier to add a bit more potency to Parma's attacking ideas. Melli, who's a proven goal scorer, and maybe the goal poacher they need, Joe.
Well, he's certainly a goal poacher. I mean, in the history of Parma, he's scored very many vital goals for them, and we could certainly do a goal from him today just to change the game. I think when you looked at the lineup, it was a wee bit disappointing not to see him in the first place, but hopefully he can create something, give us something in this final period of the game.
Foul by Kripa on Roberto Baggio. Stoichkov is coming off, so they're going to replace one striker with another. Again, it all sounds a bit negative to me, Joe.
Yeah, I thought they would have put Stoichkov back in the position he's played in recent weeks, where he has had a good period for the club. But it's just 1 for 1.
Melli, who of course was with Sampdoria and Milan last season, but he was top scorer for Parma in each of his first 3 seasons with them before his change of clubs. Here's Melli now. Oh, it was a nice little touch from Brambilla. Melli, he's got Zola up with him. Melli shot! Well, that was quite an entrance. by Melli.
Well, that's what we're looking for. He's giving the game a lift, and let's hope that his teammates round about him and the opposition players can take a lead from him.
Just the one goal in Serie A so far this season from Melli, but obviously not a first choice. So he's got to work hard for his place, and he looks as if he intends to do that. Here he is now. Just about the midway point in the second half, and still we're awaiting the first goal. Sensini. Benarivo. Turns straight into Ennio, and that'll be a free kick to Milan. The crowd disenchanted, Benarivo disenchanted.
No, I think he's every reason to be. I think that it was unfortunate to concede. I think that the guys run straight into him.
Yeah, it looks a bit harsh, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think he'd lost the ball at Ennio, and he couldn't do anything else.
Albertini. Bonucci. And the decision going Parma's way. And this time it's Bonucci's turn to look aghast. So Parma deciding they have no further use for Stoichkov in this game. Such an intriguing cocktail of stealth, subtlety and volatility, really, Stoichkov. And today hasn't been one of his better ones. Boban. Might fall to Baggio. He'd lost his way, then lost his direction. Well, rather unfortunate from Milan's point of view. And I think the flag was up anyway. Cannavaro. How impressed have you been with him this afternoon, Joe? Cannavaro.
Well, not only this afternoon, I mean, as you say, he's a young boy. He's brought here for a lot of money, and I think he has justified that. He's given as good as he's got today, and then also on other occasions. I mean, we've got to remember that Parma are a team that are up in the top of the league with Milan. They've got the same amount of points, the same goals for and against. They're really a team that they should be coming in with belief, especially on their home ground. But what I've seen today really leads me to believe that they've still got that lack of conviction that they had last year.
Still no sign of Simone coming on for Milan. That's certainly a trump card that Fabio Capello has up his sleeve. Now Zola couldn't get away though from Baresi. He also got Donadoni on the bench, Di Canio, so there are plenty of alternatives available. Di Canio, who's done well when he's come on this season, and indeed started one of the recent games against Cagliari. Scored too. Lentini not available, incidentally, this afternoon because of yet another injury, an ingrowing toenail. Musi with Boban. Musi rushing out there at Boban, but not really making too much of a contact, but it'll be a goal kick to Milan. Boban, one of several players who really has to fight for his place in this Milan team. It is such a strong squad. Strengthened, of course, by the arrival of Baggio and Weah this season. Savicevic has been away on tour with the Yugoslav team, so he wasn't available for this afternoon's match. Foul by Melli on Maldini. Costa Quarta. Maldini again. Desai making powerful but in the end ineffective progress. Very much the linchpin in midfield alongside Albertini. And I gather now Simone is going through his paces down on the touchline, so he may well be making his appearance fairly soon. Not before time, Joe.
No, he's a player. I mean, he was involved with Italy in the recent games and really showed that he is a quality player. He's been playing and he's struck up a great understanding with George Weah. And yes, I think it's what the game needs from Milan's point of view.
Ennio. The cross-in was by Bonucci. Boban's challenge, and again a confident claim by Buffon. And thus far, he'll be looking back with much satisfaction on his Serie A debut at the age of 17.
Buffon hasn't had much to do, but sometimes that's more difficult for a goalkeeper than having it the other way around, and he's had to come for very difficult crosses. In that one there where the sun was in his eyes, and he's taken it very competently. He'll be more than satisfied with the way things have gone for him so far.
Fernando Couto, the Portuguese international, now to the Argentine Serie. Brambilla. Zola. Offside though against Melli. Baresi calling the shots along that back line for Milan again. Yes, he's way off there, Melli. Christian Panucci. To Baggio, swapping passes, or at least endeavouring to do so with Weah. Kripa. Costa Curta has gone with him. And that'll be a throw to Milan. Another sterling display at the back from Costa Curta this afternoon. Alongside the old maestro, Franco Baresi. Boban. Away by Fernando Couto. Milan's throw. Weah. This is Ennio with Albertini. Weah. A barge by Desai, and will be punished. And a yellow card for the Frenchman.
I think Desai was very clinical in what he was doing there. It was going through his mind. They were going to get caught on the break there, Milan, and he's taken him out of the game, allowed his teammates to get back in behind the ball, and the result is a yellow card, and justified from the referee as well.
Just showing that Lazio have scored again. Casiraghi, the Italian striker, with their second goal at home to Cremonese. 2-0 now in the Olympic Stadium. No goals here. Ennio bursting away down that right side for Milan. Weah has taken up his station in the middle. Out comes Buffon. It's quite an awesome sight to have coming at you, George Weah.
Well, they haven't given them much room at all today, Parma. Getting men behind the ball, I don't think it's the right way to phrase it. I think they've always had men behind the ball. They haven't got men forward. That's been their problem this afternoon. I think they've just retained too many players there, not showed enough adventure.
Kripa to Brambilla. Now Musi. Very popular back home in Liberia, of course. George Weah, they have a stamp now with his head on it. I think in your day, Joe, they used to have heads with your stamp on it, didn't they? No time for you to reply as Rossi clears.
I'd be very careful if I floated up at stamping on that one.
Zola. Joe Jordan has now left the stadium. Still Zola. Oh, that's wonderful defending by Maldini. Oh, he's been penalised. I can't believe that. Surely he won that ball fairly, though.
Yeah, that was great play. He's just waited for his moment to rob the ball, and he's done it cleanly. I think the referee's had a good game, but he's got that 100% wrong.
Well, that looked to me just like sheer body strength. That was all from Maldini. Well, I put that down as impeccable defending, but that wasn't the way the referee saw it. Zola now arguing with Albertini, but it's friendly banter. Zola with the free kick. And I wonder, might this be a costly free kick then that Maldini has conceded? Rossi ever alert on his goal line. Fernando Couto is in there. And Sezzini and Dino Baggio. Zola's free kick. And the header off from Dino Baggio, just wide.
Well, it just goes to show, after hardly been in the box, we get a free kick unjustifiably given, and there he's there, Dino Boggi nearly wrapped it up for him there.
I mean, looking at that again on the replay, he really should have scored then, surely, Dino Baggio. It was more of a gaping goal than I thought it was from the first angle. Benarivo. Now Milan on the break with Baggio. Away from Fernando Couto. This kick by Benarivo, it goes where? Excellent work though by Sensini. There's been a lot of impressive defensive play this afternoon. Bonucci on for Ware. He's kept going well and forced the corner. Inside the last quarter of an hour of the game. So Buffon preparing for another test. Tardini has advanced. Ware, of course, will hope to pose a threat. Now Baggio is going off to accommodate the arrival of Simone. For many people's money, just about the sprightliest striker in the Italian game at the moment. He's certainly been prolific over the last year or so. Not in the starting lineup for this one. Boban with the corner. And here is Simone! Well, that would have been quite an impact by Simone had that gone in. Great save by young Buffon. And the gamble in playing him has paid off. An escape for Parma. Now, Cripper. He's got Melli up with him, and Zola. In goes Maldini. Cripper again. The shot blocked by Baresi. Cripper. Baresi launching himself into the tackle. He was unhappy at Cripper's response. Well, it certainly looked to me to be a foul, but did Cripper overreact there, Joe?
A little bit. I think, I mean, Frank Baresi is indicating there that Cripper put his body between himself and the ball, which I think he did, but that really was a tackle which could have resulted in a booking from me.
But the crowd still digesting that moment at the other end when 17-year-old Buffon kept out the shot from Simone. And the header's just wide. Oh, inches past the post from Melli.
It was a fantastic ball played in here, and Melli's got up and he's directed just to the bottom corner there. I think Rossi had it covered, but it was a close thing. The game is starting to liven up now with the introduction of the players that we spoke about earlier.
Simone will be hoping to add some spice then to Milan's sorties forward. Certainly did so with his first touch. That shot expertly kept out by Buffon. It was a great reaction save. Now Boban. Albertini. Can't link up there with Simone. Sensini to Zola. Now Simone. Looking for Ware. It's off Fernando Couto. It goes Ware. And Buffon was so brave, so courageous then. He may have hurt himself in the process. But my word, Parma are very indebted to their young goalkeeper this afternoon.
Well, that's the second time in a minute where he saved the points for them. I think it's resulted in George Weah getting a bit of a bang there, but I think the first save was a save made by instinct from Simone. The second one, I think, was pure bravery. He's read the situation, he's come out, he's had to make the challenge where the ball is at stake between himself and George Weah, and he's collected it cleanly. And he showed in those two incidents there real good qualities for it, especially for such a young lad.
He's as much a new name to us, I can assure you, as it is to everyone watching at home. Gianluigibuffon. Make a note of the name, he's very much one for the future. Fernando Couto pumping it hopefully forward. Little flick on was by Cripper. Costa policing belly. Well, the game has certainly livened up in the second half, but then there wasn't much to beat from the first 45 minutes. It was all pretty dour stuff. Rossi, the least occupied of the two. Simone after this one, but that was Fernando Couto with a second clearance, only as far as Albertini. Good challenge by Benarivo. Melli. Creeper away down the left. Couldn't get clear of Panucci though. Milan's throw. Costa. And a somewhat hasty clearance from a normally more polished defender. Come on, we know you've got it. Fernando Couto does not look amused by it all. Brambilla doesn't fall for Dino Baggio. Simone. That was Panucci, and he's picked out Iranio. Played off by Albertini. This is Panucci. Musi. Now way up for Milan. Maldini has stayed up. Away goes Zola. Creeper. Now does Melli have the pace here? Not enough to outsmart Costa. Baggio. Oh, a strong run, Melli. Zola. Terrific little run by Zola. But he couldn't finish it off.
He's come across there and he's really, unfortunately, created himself a bad angle, and really the only opportunity he has is he's tried to chip Rossi, which, as you can imagine, is not the easiest task in the world. A very difficult angle he presented himself with.
But just for a moment there, hopes were high among the Parma faithful that their team might snatch a goal at last. Albertini has given it away to Dino Baggio.
Actually, in the last 10 minutes, have created more in that period of time than they have in the whole match. And just believe what could have been if they'd have come out with this positive attitude from the start.
Sensini, who has had a very composed game at the back. He may prefer playing in midfield, but I'm sure Nevio Scala will want to keep him in this defensive role. Again, evidence there of Maldini's reading of the game. Albertini swept on the Boban. Now, can he provide the right service here? No, not deep enough. Cannavaro. Played out to Creeper, Brambilla, Benarivo. Zola's set off down the left. Here's Zola now. We're inside the final 5 minutes. Panucci skipping away from Zola. The two teams, remember, with absolutely identical records, right down to the number of goals scored, the number of goals conceded. So it's going to stay that way if it's 0-0. Even I can work that one out. Joe's still struggling with it, but
I'm just working out who's alphabetically in front there, Pierre.
Brambilla. Benarivo. This is Boban. We're being tightly patrolled again by Sensini, and too tightly for the referee's liking. Referee Boggi just trying to calm down those Parma defenders, incensed by his decision that has gone against them. Albertini taking charge of the free kick along with Panucci. And it is Panucci with the kick. Easily away though. Costa Curta just touched off to Panucci. Ennio didn't know too much about that one. Brambilla was giving it away carelessly to Boban. More danger may be brewing here for Parma. Panucci deceiving Brambilla. But there's only Weir and Simone in the middle, and neither could do anything with that cross. Cannavaro. Desai back in possession for Milan. Wide of him, Panucci. Albertini. Now Simone. Melli got away from Baresi. Zola. Melli again. Hacked down by Baresi. Free kick for Parma. I think no further action being taken. Baresi, who looks to have come off worse.
I think we missed the best of it there. The footwork and skills that he showed there, Melli, was brilliant. The way that he got away from two Milan defenders was exceptional.
Now, we're going to see a little bit of magic from Zola here with 2 minutes remaining. Zola's free kick. Sensini can't reach it. They felt there was some impeding there, but the referee will have none of it. Good play by Brambilla. Melli is the target off the header of Costa Curta. Again, he's worked so well in tandem with Baresi at the back. Baresi, though, in a bit of distress at the moment, from the look on his face. Boban. This is Panucci. We're now into the final minute. Maldini. Foul on Simone by Cannavaro. So there is still some defending for Parma to do. I think Albertini is going to have to take that one again. So Buffon just needs to retain his concentration for the last few seconds. Then he can really go and enjoy his bath. Such an impressive debut by the 17-year-old. Albertini, and he's there again. We're now at a stoppage time. Well, his selection certainly raised a few eyebrows when Nista was overlooked. Bucci out through injury, but he has risen to the occasion in the most impressive way. Here's Melli now, trying to wriggle through. Crippa, and his cross has gone behind. He felt for a corner, and the referee has pointed for a goal kick. Melli with Baresi did well to hold it off then at all.
I think when it gets here to keep, I think he's right. I think he's just come off the side there. I think the referee's got a little bit tired. He's made one or two errors in the last couple of minutes.
Benaribo, Baresi's header. Now Zola. Super control from Zola. Away from Maldini, not there from Desai. And that's it, it's all over. It's finished in a goalless draw. The second half better than the first, but not really all that many chances for either teams. The two sides who are together at the top of the table, level on points, level on goal difference, and they stay that way. Joe, your thoughts looking back over the 90 minutes?
Well, two major thoughts. One is it was the attitude of Parma. I was a bit disappointed the way they came out. I didn't think they showed enough belief in themselves, and really if they are going to